Hi everybody, welcome to our channel. Today we have something a little different and a little special. We're going to do a history of the Heitech collectibles cars. I made these in the early 90s, between probably 92 and 94, and had 3 different models released. They were very popular in the time. So yeah, I thought I'd just run through a bit of the history of them and what it took to make them, what was available, and how they were packaged and so forth. So hope you enjoy the details that I'm about to share with you. First one was the 1940 Ford Coupe, Deluxe Coupe, available in 6 colours, and the second and third models were the 1936 Ford Roadster and 36 Ford Phaeton or touring sedan. So we'll cover the 1940 Ford first. That was the first model, as I said, and in all its colours, and then afterwards we'll go into some of the specials that were built and a few of the prototypes and the original patterns that we used. To start, I'd just like to quickly review some of the details on the number 1 model, the 1940 Ford Coupe. You'll see that it has nickel plated wheel rims, and then they're painted on the inside to match the body colour as they were on the original cars. The grille and headlamps, bumper, are all nickel plated, so they're metal and nickel plated. The tyres are natural rubber. I actually made a mould to have those pressed into a mould. And on the rear we have the Heitech registration plate and the bumper, again nickel plated. So underneath we have the details of the build. So it's a Heitech, I'm not sure if we can see that very well, there we go, a Heitech collectibles from Queensland, Australia, number 1, 1 to 43 scale, 1940 Ford Deluxe Roadster, and this is number 1357, and you can see here it's held by 2 screws to hold the body and all the chassis and everything together, and the bumpers in place. So that's a brief outline of the Cordoba tan colour. Actually, we tried to match the colours as best we could to original cars, the original colour scheme of the 1940 Ford range. So the original was made completely from aluminium. You'll see here the wheels are brass. The body is a bit tarnished now and a bit pitted, actually. Bit of a shame. But the grille, everything was handmade out of brass. The bumpers, the grille, the wheels, rear bumper, the license plate, of course. And you can see underneath here again the brass front and rear suspension assemblies, which is part of the bumper bar on front and rear. And you can see quite clearly there the original markings with no serial number. So we also have a pre-production car. So this was, I think, the first finished model, again with the nickel plated bumpers and everything. There were no real changes or upgrades made. You can see this is a little bit chipped. It's been sitting around for quite some time, and you'll see here it's marked as PPA, so it's the first pre-production model. I made 3 before releasing any for sale. So again, this was the one that, these were the ones that were essentially assembled and refined, if you like. So we also have a dark blue, again exactly the same bodies, and the light blue is a very in character colour for that time. It looks quite pleasant and pleasing. So that's pretty much it for the 1940 Ford. So next I'll cover the 36 models, and then we'll get on to the customs after that. So this is the number 2 car, a 1936 Ford Roadster, as you can see. Got a little bit of tissue paper stuck on the top here. But again, all the components are nickel plated. The headlights also, so the buckets are painted, but the headlamps themselves are nickel plated. The windscreen is nickel plated. The wheels, you can see, I hope you can see the detail there, but they're the deluxe Spider hubcaps. They were stainless steel on the original cars. And then on the rear we have the spare wheel and bumper. Here we have this one here is very slightly different for those of you who may have noticed or didn't perhaps notice. You'll see a slight difference in the rear of this car and this car. I actually made two types. There was a Australian build, which is based on a 5-window coupe, and then this one, the American style, which was based on the 3-window coupes. It had a bigger space here between the rumble seat and the hood or the top. And you can see this one here has its original license plate, etc. And of course the nickel plated center cap on the spare wheel. So again, this was my personal favourite in Washington blue, 1936 Ford Roadster. Just a fantastic looking car in my thought. The rear of these cars was just a real picture. Beautiful, beautiful shape, beautiful styling. So we'll move on now to the model of the 1936. So this was the original that everything was cast from. As you can see, it was made in 2 pieces. So both the number 1 model and the Roadster and Phaeton were all made out of Duraflex aluminium, machined and then test fitted and assembled. So they were 2-piece bodies. The grille, as you can see here, was originally handmade out of brass, as were the bumpers, and you can see here the original Spider wheel, again made of brass. This was 2-piece. The centre was of course inserted. Good time also to cover the tyres. The tyres did not have any tread, but they were just normal Blackwall tyres. Again, they're true natural rubber. They've lasted very, very well. So that's about it for the 1936 release. Again, if anyone has any questions or wants any more questions or has any questions or wants any problems or concerns answered, I'll be happy to discuss them if you make an entry in the comments below. And now we'll move on to some of the customs. Just before moving on to the customs, I'll just cover the packaging that they were sent out in. You can see they were all detailed with their serial number and the colour. 1940 Ford Coupe in lion blue, number 1129 of 1500. First we'll have a look at the 1940 Ford 2-door sedan, the Sloper. Everyone will recognise that, all the hot rodders and so forth out there. So the Sloper body was obviously a very iconic shape. These were all one-offs. I never made any of these for distribution. The Australian style Ford Utility. Again, it was a deluxe ute with the deluxe grille, and of course still the same painted wheel rims and nickel plated with the hubcaps and trim rings. So that was a coupe ute as they're known in the United States, but in Australia they were simply a ute. Here we also have a 1940 Ford with the spats on the back, which was quite a common option at the time. Really does give it a sleek look. Quite pleased with the look of that. And of course we have the convertible sedan, which was probably the cream of the crop in the 1940 Fords. Very sought after and very valuable today to have a real one of these. Also, I nearly missed it, but we have the 4-door sedan. This was probably the family car, of course. It also quite a nice style, but it looks so bulky, the 4-door sedan, that of course had to have one in the lineup. So you'll see there, it's still a very attractive style. However, it certainly is not the one most sought after. After that, we moved on to a little bit of hot rodding. So here we have a 40 Ford with big wheels and tyres and so forth, and lowered, and a top chop, of course. And 36 Roadster. These wheels I actually made also. Very difficult to get a nice looking wheel suitable to update the 1:43 scale cars. So it actually has a very nice stance. After this, I'll sit them down on the bench, and you can see the stance that they have when they're on the bench. And another 40 Ford, again lowered at the front, top chopped. That's about it for the range. So if anyone would like to know more about the models, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you very much, and don't forget, please like and subscribe to keep an eye on what we're doing now with our RCs and various other customs that we're making. Thank you, and thanks for watching.